So with regard to gender, I think that there's been a tremendous change over the last century. It may be the biggest social change in thousands of years of history. For thousands of years, you had so many different revolutions, political, social, and economic, so many different things changed, but this basic patriarchal structure of most human societies, at least the bigger human societies, didn't change. And over the last 100 years, you see a really fundamental change in the status of women and in the relations, in gender relations in general. It's still very far from being a completely egalitarian society, and it's questionable whether it will be possible ever to have a completely egalitarian society. But I wouldn't say that nothing has been done or accomplished in the last few decades. Looking to the future, and this also links to the other question, I'm not sure there'll still be genders in 50 or 100 or 150 years. With this new ability to re-engineer, to create bodies and brains and minds as the basic products of the 21st century economy, the most fundamental structures of the human body and mind themselves might change. So I'm not so sure that 100 years from now, people will have a clear gender of just one gender. Just to give an example that's already starting to happen, in virtual realities, for example, it's very easy for a person to adopt a different gender, to change genders, or to construct all kinds of alternative genders. And you have today, like kids, boys who play the roles of girls and vice versa as avatars in virtual worlds. Today, it's still very primitive. You sit in front of the computer, and it's a two-dimensional reality. But in 30 years, 50 years, more and more of a life might be transferred into a three-dimensional virtual reality, which provides people with far more excitement and far more interest than the drab life in the outside world, in an economy where they are no longer needed, and a political system in which they have no power. And in such a situation, I mean, I wouldn't just take it for granted that the gender structure familiar to us today and from thousands of years in the past will still be relevant in 50 or 100 years.